Federal Reserve Governor Adriana Kugler said Wednesday inflation is showing solid signs of slowing down, but she is not ready yet to start lowering interest rates. In her first major policy address since being confirmed to the Board of Governors in September 2023, Kugler said three factors are converging to ease inflation pressures: moderating wage growth, changes in how often companies are raising prices, and survey indicators that the pace of price increases is expected to continue to fall. With all that in mind, however, Kugler wants more confidence that it's time to cut rates. So I am pleased with the disinflationary progress thus far and expect it to continue. I must emphasize, however, that the Federal Open Market Committee's job is not done yet, she said in remarks for speech to the Brookings Institution in Washington, D.C. At some point, the continued cooling of inflation and labor markets may make it appropriate to reduce the target range for the federal funds rate, Kugler added. On the other hand, if progress on disinflation stalls, it may be appropriate to hold the target range steady at its current level for longer to ensure continued progress on our dual mandate. The policymaker added that she expects consumer spending to grow and core services inflation excluding housing to pull back. Additionally, she sees indications that firms which raised their prices frequently during the big inflation run-up of 2021-22 are doing so less now. Should inflation continue to recede toward the Fed's 2% goal, that likely will lead to cuts later this year. However, like other Fed officials, Kugler did not commit to a timetable, despite market pricing for aggressive reductions ahead. As a governor, Kugler, the first Latina governor in Fed history, is a permanent FOMC voter. I am pleased by the progress on inflation, and optimistic it will continue, but I will be watching the economic data closely to verify the continuation of this progress, Kugler said. Earlier in the day, Minneapolis Fed President Neel Kashkari also expressed caution about cutting rates too quickly. Sitting here today, I would say, 2 or 3 cuts would seem to be appropriate for me right now, Kashkari said during a CNBC, Squawk Box, interview. But again, I don't want to prejudge things, but that's my gut, based on the data we have so far. Markets have been pricing in an aggressive path this year for the Fed, with the first reduction happening as soon as May and 5 total quarter percentage point cuts happening before the end of the year, according to the CME Group's FedWatch measure of futures pricing. However, multiple Fed officials have been pushing back on that narrative. Fed Chair Jerome Powell a week ago and again during a 60 Minutes interview that aired Sunday on CBS all but completely took a March cut off the table and said he expects policymakers to move carefully as they measure the progress of inflation against broader economic growth.